Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching the 5th season of Aggretsuko, which is also set to be the final season of this adult anime series. Now, when it comes to the Aggretsuko franchise, I definitely don't think that I have to be the only one to explain that the first 3 seasons were generally considered to be popular and held in high regard when it comes to anime meant for an adult audience. Not in terms of violence or gore or anything, but more in terms of its themes and relatability, especially when it comes to workplace satire. But the 4th season didn't exactly endear a lot of people, and this season, I suppose, was made as the final season because of the dropping popularity of the series. But thankfully, it is a decent goodbye when it comes to our favorite characters, and it's a definite improvement over the 4th season. Let's get to the story, shall we? The story revolves around Haida, essentially losing a lot of his money from a smartphone game, and he has to live in a net cafe while he tries to find a new job. On top of that, Haida gets to meet Retsuko's parents, meaning we finally get to see Retsuko's dad after he didn't show up in the previous seasons, and Retsuko's Rage actually manages to catch the attention of the Party of Rage, a new political party that's helping to help the Japanese populace now that Haida's brother is running for office. This could decide the fate of the Japanese economy as we know it. But that's all I'll say about the story. Obviously, the stakes are a lot higher this season than there are in the previous seasons, especially considering that Retsuko essentially gets to become a political candidate. And there certainly are a lot of satirical elements regarding Japan's bubble economy and politicians who seem to care only for their own well-being and status over the younger generation. And for those who didn't like the direction that Haida's character took in the last season, I'm pleased to say that he does go into a better direction in this season, even if he does start out in a pretty low place due to smartphone microtransaction addiction. And let me tell you, microtransactions are second only to NFTs when it comes to things in smartphone games that I wish never existed. But this show seems to think about that the same way that I do. And thankfully, the voice acting from everyone involved is still top-notch, even when it comes to some brand new characters, such as Haida's mother, father, and brother, who basically end up being the major antagonists of the season. Not only did they provide great political satire, but I like the fact that Haida's brother actually gets to have his views challenged in the season, even if he ultimately ends up still being antagonistic throughout the majority of it. There's also Shikabane, a gamer girl who ends up befriending Haida through their shared appreciation of the smartphone game. And I really like how she's portrayed. I really like how she's so low energy and such an introvert that she actually gets a few good snarky comments in every now and then, even if it does feel like the season doesn't have enough of her. I mean, it's 10 episodes again with a half-hour-long final episode, but it does feel like some characters get a bit wasted or a bit shafted. Though thankfully Tone is not one of those characters. The fact that he's had a lot more development than I thought he would, based on the chauvinistic personality he had in the first season, definitely says a lot about how he actually has acknowledged his flaws and is trying to improve the lives of Retsuko, Haida, and everyone else, regardless of how much of a jerk he was in the beginning. That's definitely an example of how to do character development for an initially unlikable character correctly, and to have it feel natural throughout all these 5 seasons. So yeah, Aggretsuko probably has a few rough patches in the road even in this season, but I do think that it is a solid finale, and I do think that people who are fans of the series will be happy with this one. So that's why I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. See you next time.